The following program is sponsored by The Greek, Ely's Radio Shack dealer, 570 Altman in downtown Ely, and brought to you as a public service by Georgetown Media in Ely, Nevada. White Pine County Tourism and Recreation Board meeting, December 22nd, 2020.
We have Wayne and then Judy doing the minutes.
It's great. So I see it's 4 o'clock, so let me call to order the White Pine County Tourism and Recreation Board meeting. This is December 22nd, 2020, our last meeting of the year. Could we please have the Pledge of Allegiance? Kyle, would you lead us?
Certainly. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Welcome, everyone. We'll start with, we have a roll call. Is there any public comment?
I'll go ahead and turn the camera around. And George, if you could come on up to the computer, we'd appreciate it.
Very good, thank you. Madam Chairman, at your meeting dated November 24th, 2020, I asked why the Tour and Rec Board paid $188.50 to Ely Rotary for dues, and as of this date, I've not received an answer. I'd like to know why you're spending that kind of money. Madam Chairman, on your list of bills to be paid, check number 10136 is to Public Employees Benefits Program for $32 payment for Doris Muller. Doris has been gone a long time. What is the payment for? And why is this Tour and Rec Board paying it? I'd like to know that. Madam Chairman, I'm repeating my concern regarding the Airbnbs. I've not seen any licensing, either at the city level, county level, no rezone requests at the Regional Planning Commission, no special use permit, no home occupation application or approval. Someone's not doing their job. Commissioner Bullis needs to account for those in the county, and Councilman Kurt Carson needs to account for those in the city. And you, Madam Chairman, have to account for both city and county. Unfortunately, it appears you're failing. We need to collect this revenue, Madam. Madam Chairman, I have not seen anything presented to this board regarding the possible ski resort or ski area possibilities that Commissioner Bullis talked about and solicited earlier at a different meeting. The board approved expenses for Mr. Bullis's acquaintance to come from California to make the assessment. I'd like a copy of that written report, and there should be some report given at a meeting so everybody is acquainted with what did or did not happen. Madam Chairman, I have an ongoing concern in regards to ADA compliance on the new parking lot. It doesn't meet it. There's no walkway to keep pedestrians out of the road, let alone those in wheelchairs. And we need to address that. And that's all I have at this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chachis. Is there any more public comment? Hearing none.
There's none.
Oh, excuse me.
Oh, no, there's none.
Oh, okay, thanks. Thanks very much. All right, we're going to move on to item number 4, new business. Discussion and for possible action, approval of agenda, including removal of agenda items. Are there any changes, deletions to the agenda? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll move to approve.
Okay, Marietta, you're on mute.
Okay,
Thank you.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor? Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Item B, discussion and for possible action, approval of minutes, November 24th, 2020. Any additions, edits, deletions to these meetings? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Madam Chairman, I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes of November 24th, 2020 meeting.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor? Aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Discussion only. Kyle, on review of the financial report, and since all the board members are on Zoom, let's give us a minute to grab the
Absolutely.
documents.
This is the document that we'll be going over first, which is the room tax collection for both the city, county properties, the one we usually go through.
Thank you.
What?
What does that C stand for off to the side?
That
Red.
would be for county.
Okay, thank you,
So that's just distinguishing which ones are the city properties and the county properties.
thank you.
Okay, so if we go through, you'll see that in the hotel motel, total collected was $112,945.07. For the RV parks and campgrounds, the total collected was $3,271.64, for a total of $116,216.71. The railroad received $17,217.29 as their contribution this month. The city of Ely was $20,159.79, and the golf course was $1,634.19. So after Department of Taxation, NCOT got their piece, we received $73,977.20 towards our income for the month. If you now go to the comparison report for this time compared to this time last year, it actually shows that the $116,216.71 is 2.6% less than what we collected this time last year. This, of course, is for November. You know, travel obviously wasn't high during that month of people coming in for Thanksgiving, and all of our licensed contractors from the road projects left. So I think the thing to think about going into it, while this really equated to just about $3,000 difference, the next 3 months is really what we need to be looking at: December, January, and February. Those are traditionally our slowest months, and so we're going to have to get creative this winter on how to get feet in the street and heads in beds into the community so that we don't see bigger hits going into it. And then going into the springtime, when COVID was really just taking off last year, hopefully we're not going to be dealing with that, and we could really see the windfall that we usually see going into the summertime. So any questions on the room tax comparison report?
No, but where you can sure scroll down and look at April of 2019, and you can see how the pandemic just annihilated our room rates.
Right, and it wasn't until June that we actually saw this last year a comparison where we had more than that time last year, and so the April, May, and June really should be more up into that $120,000, $130,000, $140,000 collected, where it was down into 54. But I feel positive that we're not going to be dealing with that same situation as we were that time last year. I'll just for the record, we've got the tallying room tax for each one of the hotels still in your room packet. I won't go over them, but that's just for your reference so that you can see how each property does month to month. And then the final thing we'll go over for the financial report is the budget comparison. And the one thing that I was going to point out, the grant reimbursement is going to be completely thrown off because we got $57,000 in grants from Travel Nevada right at the end of the year, and so we had only budgeted for $25,000. We are spending that money like it's hotcakes, just flying out the door. So we will have that money spent, and Errol and myself will both go over the different projects for that. But right now, that's why you'll see that the grant reimbursement is a little bit higher than what we had budgeted for. It's going to be significantly higher. The other thing that I just want to raise attention to is the internet connection. And I don't know how we mismanaged this one in our budgeting, but being at 50% through the year, we're at 103% for what we budgeted for internet connection. So when we do our augmentation in the springtime to account for any other stuff that pops up, we'll go ahead and augment that as well. But for everything else, it seems like we're right on par for the year. We're still operating at a surplus right now, which is good going into the lean season because we're still gonna have to market. We're just not gonna be bringing in as much revenue as what we have been. So, is there any question about the budget comparison? All right. Well, if that's it, that's all I have for the financial report.
Thank you, Kyle, very much. We are going to move on to item D, discussion and for possible action ratifying bills. And Kyle, if you could step in, I believe we are going to pull one of the bills, so you're going to have to give us a new total.
Yep, so the bill that we're going to pull is Steptoe Valley Sounds for the mural audio recording, and that's because that's going to be paid for by Main Street. And so with that said, the new totals minus 270 is $131,197.84 minus the Bath, and then minus the Bath lumber bill, it's $118,449.84. Excuse me.
And what's that check number?
The one that we pulled, or the Bath lumber one.
Sorry, the one we pulled.
The one we pulled was check number 10159.
Okay, just so you can, if either Kurt or Marietta, whoever is going to make that motion, please just make sure you note that. Okay, so having that, do I hear a motion to ratify the bills?
Madam Chairman, I'll make a motion, can you hear me? That we
Yes.
pay the bills totaling $118,449.84, minus check 10144 to Bath Lumber, minus check 10159 to Steptoe Valley, for a total of $118,449.84.
Hang on, I think that was a
Thank you.
different
Is there a
check.
second?
I think
I'll
that was a
second.
different,
Hold on a second, Mackenzie's. That I think was.
I think we have the wrong check number on the Steptoe Valley.
10159, correct?
10159.
Okay,
That's
That was correct, that was it.
that's the one that I have.
okay, perfect,
Okay.
sorry about that.
Okay,
George?
so Kurt, you,
No, we don't.
did I hear a second?
Yeah, I second.
Okay, and I do want to, I will be voting on this, but not the next item, since I have an interest in Bath lumber. And again, the Steptoe Valley Sounds actually should have been sent to White Pine Main Street, so we pulled that, and White Pine Main Street will be paying that bill. All right,
Hang on, we need to approve.
all in favor of ratifying the bills as moved?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Item E, discussion and for possible action, approval to pay bill to Bath Lumber. I'll abstain. We do not have a quorum, so we will pull this one forward to the next meeting, Mr. Horvath.
Okay.
Okay? All right, thank you. Then we will, discussion and for possible action, facilities guide update.
So an update on that one. Jade is our designer, and we've been throwing a bunch of stuff at her recently to deal with
It's
all.
hard to hear you.
Can you hear me? Okay,
Yes.
cool. Pretty much what we're doing is we're compiling photographs now, so that when Jade's schedule opens up, we can go ahead and start plugging in stuff. So one of these days here, and hopefully sooner than later, we will have a loosely planned format for this visitor's guide where we can have placeholders for pictures and stuff like that. Now that the grant season's over and we can kind of focus in the beginning of the year, this is going to move up to a top priority because I know we don't have a whole lot of design work for Jade other than this right now. So hopefully we'll get something to you soon.
Thank you. And just to reiterate, it was totally unexpected to have this grant funding come in from Travel Nevada. And it's with $57,000 that had to be spent by December 30th. It's been a mad scramble for everyone. So thank you for a good plan. And I would suspect that White Pine Tourism and Recreation received far more than other tourism agencies with the 57,000 throughout the rural areas, so congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's move on to item G, discussion and for possible action, updated job descriptions. And before we start, I've been speaking with Kyle on this. The interviews for any of the applicants for the position as far as tourism with our partnership with White Pine Chamber of Commerce, which we're pretty excited about. And so before we can really hire somebody, we need to approve a job description for them. And so since we just all received the ones for other positions, I'd like to propose that we hold those off for now, and so that everybody has time to review. But I would propose we go ahead and approve what did you call that position?
The visitor liaison position.
Say it again.
The visitor liaison position.
Is it a liaison?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
If we go ahead and approve that one, and then it gives everybody a chance to go through the others.
So just before we do that, if I could just, the marketing manager position, the job descriptions were updated. Essentially, it's all the stuff that we had on there before, and what we added through working with Tim was the duties of going and manning the new visitor center in the chamber building. So that was part of the job description that was not in there. So to go ahead and cover all the bases, we worked with Tim at HR, who is here for the record in the audience. He went ahead and put everything in there legalese wise. So that's the marketing manager position. When you're looking at that, it'll look very similar, just with the visitor liaison duties added. The visitor liaison position, I'm glad we're approving that because we are having our interviews on the 28th, and we'll be ready to go at the start of the new year. So hopefully that clarified just what the agenda item in general.
That's wonderful. I sure appreciate it. And so unless I hear anything otherwise, we could go ahead and approve the visitor liaison position. Do I have a motion?
Madam Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we accept the visitor liaison job description as presented.
Thank you. And it is a new position. So do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor? Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. And let's get a person hired. This is, Wayne could, it would be great for Wayne to have this help. And as I understand it, the chamber will be open, the visitor center on the weekends. It'll be 7 days a week.
Correct.
Isn't
Yeah,
that great?
we're going to be working on it over the holidays, and so we're hoping to actually have an open house. And Errol's got some stuff that he'll talk about the open house and some of the things. But yeah, we're really looking to have a strong start to the new year.
Mm-hmm. Great. Well, thank you very much. Okay, we'll move on to item H, discussion only, executive director's report.
All right, so I've got some stuff, but I'll go ahead and turn this over to Errol first because I know there's going to be some Christmas photographs taken in the building here pretty soon. So I'll let him do his thing, and then I'll go ahead and fill in the gaps. So Errol, go for it.
Hi, just want to make sure everyone can hear me first.
Yes.
Gotcha, thank you. So yeah, I'm just going to go right into it because it's been a busy and exciting month. Starting as always with Facebook. As per Friday, we were at 4,377 followers, which is up 145. But as Kyle mentioned, and as I think all of you know, we got grant money from Travel Nevada that they awarded that we could use by the end of the year. And so in that was a social media campaign aspect to the grant. So we're right in the middle of that. We started it on Friday last week. And so since we've been in the middle of that campaign, we're actually up way more than that. So on Friday, it was at 4,377 followers. But now looking at my screen, within that many days, we're now at 4,553. So we went up 291 between those days. As per Friday, the page followers were up 184% according to the Facebook stats. We're now looking at a 387% increase. And it's like that across the board. So we were already up for the month, and then once we started this campaign, everything went up exponentially as far as page likes and followers. And on Instagram, again, this is going off of the numbers that were on Friday before the campaign began. But on Instagram, we were at 2,137 followers, which was up 17. On Twitter, it was 348 followers, which was up 13. And then moving on to targeted digital campaigns, or display targeting, starting with search retargeting, that received 175,000 impressions, 131 clicks, and a click-through rate of 0.07%. And then search engine marketing, that received 7.8 thousand impressions, 294 clicks, 95 leads. Our site retargeting received 84,000 impressions, 111 clicks, and a click-through rate of 0.13%, which is above average. That's fantastic. Our targeted YouTube ad received 31,000 impressions and 11.6 thousand views. Our Facebook retargeting received 20.9 thousand impressions and 376 clicks. Moving on to the website stats, our top 5 pages this past month were the homepage, lodging, dining, things to do, and the 5th page was the Fire and Ice Winter Festival. And that's great because we've been trying to put that out. It's one of the first things we highlighted in this marketing campaign, so it's nice to see that people are showing an interest in it. And we've kind of cemented some events that are going to go in it. We already had a new poster out for it that we've been putting out and promoting that Jade put out and made. As far as device breakdown this past month, tablet and mobile were pretty close. Desktop was 44% and mobile was 52%. And that's good traffic. Nice to know that we have also been updating the web page and the website along with doing the whole rebranding.
Errol, I'm glad you mentioned that because that's a pretty sizable task that you've been taking on because of this grant project from Travel Nevada. If you guys go on the website, and a website's always work in progress, always changing, but we've completely changed the color scheme. We've inserted the new logos and are starting to do some things to kind of like streamline and clean the design so it becomes more user-friendly. It is long and tedious work, and Errol has done a great job on this, but I hope when you guys go on the website, you notice kind of the new fresh look. If you remember, it was very Forest Service cabin green and brown, and I believe the new color scheme is a lot more, I just keep saying open and airy. It feels open and safe, for lack of a better phrase.
And a big help was Jade on the color scheme. We kind of worked with Jade on the logo colors, and she sent them over, and so everything is streamlined and kind of connective. So when you look at our logo and you look at our website, hopefully it all makes sense, which I think it does. Our average session duration was up 8%, with 1 minute and 32 seconds. And then other updates. Again, as I think most of you know, we had the mural tour, mural and audio tour come through last month. With David Purdy of Spirit of Nevada come through and did a video for us. And we've made a section on the website with the video tour, kind of leading people into it. And we're currently kind of just waiting for the full complete video to be in before the end of the year, and then we'll blast that out as a part of the whole media campaign with the grant from Travel Nevada. In other news, there was a new article. Nathan Havener of Mining Quarterly, which is a section of the Elko Daily Free Press, he made a new article. He came by in November and he came to Ely. We got him a room, and he went by the Nevada Northern Railway or charcoal ovens. And in Mining Quarterly, there's a new article about the history of White Pine and things to do once you get here, and kind of where we're going. Because he did talk to Kyle, and Kyle had some great quotes in there. And then other big news, as a part of the Travel Nevada grant, was our mailers, because we wanted to specifically target, since we got the grant, areas that we couldn't specifically target before. So Las Vegas and kind of the Tahoe, Reno, Carson area. And so with that, Kyle gave me some of the numbers. So we're looking at, we sent 90,000 pieces, like mailers, to Las Vegas, and then 20,000 went to Reno and Carson City.
29,000.
29,000.
Almost 30,000.
I have the numbers here and I still misread. And we actually got a mailer sent back to us this past month. And so we were able to take a look at it ourselves, and it really does look fantastic. And in fact, I really want to mention that we've had multiple calls from Las Vegas and Reno and Carson, all complimenting us on this mailer and saying how impressed they are with it. We've had people who have been in tourism call us and let us know that they're super impressed and really just congratulating us on it. And after working with Jay, she did a great job. It really does look awesome. It's definitely quality mailer, and we haven't received any bad feedback on the design. In fact, people have really loved it, so that's always fun. The other thing, as Kyle mentioned before, when we open up the chamber, we were trying to figure out what exactly people can get when they come to the opening of the Chamber Visitor Center. And so what we kind of decided on was postcards. And so we actually received those this month. We designed 5 different postcards that people will receive in a bundle, and they can hand those out. And that way they can basically do the marketing for us, as Kyle always says. And they'll send them out, and so even after we get these, then they do our job for us, pretty much.
So just using some of our new images, you know, in different merchandising things. But I've always loved the postcards because, you know, people see them, they love the images of their own community, and then they send them out to their friends, and it just kind of, it has legs.
Yep. So there's a total of 5. We have one with Great Basin National Park in fall colors, and War Charcoal Ovens, mountain biking, snow, and train.
Would you be able to put a bundle of those in each of our boxes, and then also the mailer that was mailed to Las Vegas, Reno, and Carson?
So we only have one copy of the mailer that was mailed back, like in its actual printed form. But we do have it here in the office. Kurt, you came by earlier and got to feel it. You know, anytime you've got quality paper, it's always nice to have it in your hand. So I wish we had more. Marietta, I hope you got one.
I did. I was so excited when I got it.
Perfect.
By the way, Errol, great job on those mailers. I was so excited when I saw it. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. All right, so is that it for the marketing report, Errol?
I'm just going to finish up with the calendar.
Oh.
Again, just kind of adding things as they come and go. Right now, what's on it, we got the Bristlecone Birkenbeiner, which has been scheduled, the Christmas dinner, and Fire and Ice.
Awesome. All right, well, I'll go ahead and just kind of compliment what Errol said there and finish up on the report. The first thing that I want to bring up is we've been taking all of our documents and switching over to putting the new logo on them. It is the end of the year, so Nicole has updated the room tax forms. The new ones are online. We did send out paper copies to all of the lodging properties, and it's also time for renewal of the room tax license, so they got the form for that and are going ahead and filling those out. And this is just the normal end-of-year procedure, office procedure that we do. So Nicole's made sure that all of that has gone out, and we've checked with the lodging properties to make sure that they've gotten them. The parking lot, we got the final bill for that one. That'll be an agenda item for the next meeting. But in lieu of some of the concerns of during public comment, the parking lot is complete minus one electrical meter box that Mount Wheeler Power is aware of, does need to move. City, Rec Brothers, everybody is aware of this power meter. But the lights are working, the trees are done. Rec Brothers have been watering those in lieu of the drought so that they would not die, and we should be ready to go. The Trailhead kiosk at Sports World that we've been talking about is currently on hold for the winter just because the ground is frozen. But we have been in communication with Forest Service, and they're just holding those pieces in place so that we can go ahead and put those in the ground come springtime. And that'll be for motorized and non-motorized trail information directly across from Sports World. The Broadbent Park survey had been complete. We have a copy here, a hard copy here for anybody public that wants to see it. I did make the report in front of the City Council last week with the results. To kind of summarize it, of course if you want one, I'll go ahead and send it out to you, but to summarize it, the community kind of spoke loud and clear that they wanted Broadbent Park to serve more of an arts, entertainment, and events vibe as opposed to sports fields and things like that. Now, I mean, that's overgeneralizing it, but things like amphitheater, splash pad, playground, barbecue areas ranked very, very high, where ball fields and different things like that ranked a little bit lower. So I am working with Jim Allworth to create a Broadbent Park subcommittee, and we're going to be kind of taking everybody's ideas, taking the results of the survey, the Main Street survey, and trying to come up with a design that the city will then submit to the Round 19 SNPLMA proposals that are coming up in September. Just recently had my interview for the RTP grant, which is the Recreational Trails program through the Nevada State Parks. The proposal that we put in was for design of trail expansion at Cave Lake State Park. And so I had my 10-minute interview, and I would be expecting that the results of who got awarded would be coming back. I was thinking this week, but realistically with the holidays, we might be looking at the beginning of the new year. But that was a $15,000 total project where our contribution was somewhere in the 3.5 for match. So a pretty favorable grant to go after, which has actually benefited White Pine County in the past with some of the trails that Brian and Susie have been able to build. The NCOT Open and Safe grants. Errol went ahead and talked about the mailer campaign. Again, I'm really, really happy about how this is going. Just the mailer coming in at the same time as the social media campaign, coming in at the same time as East River PR starting to mail out our newsletters, which you guys should have gotten in your inboxes because the first of the newsletters that they were helping us out on just went out. And we've actually gotten a couple calls. I'll have some interviews on Fire and Ice from a couple Reno media outlets. The one that I'll talk about is the reprinting campaign. So we got 2 grants. One of them was for the mailer for $45,000. The other one was for $12,000 for reprinting. So what we've done is did updates and modified some info on the public museum brochure, the Night Sky Rat Card, the White Pine Golf Course Rat Card, and the lodging brochure. So those all have our new logo, the open and safe messaging, information and dates have been changed, and those will be printed out. We also included reprinting or printing of the city map that the chamber puts out. And so this is something that's been one of the most popular pieces that tourism and the chamber has partnered on in the past, where the chamber goes out and gets the information on it, and then tourism dedicates a certain amount of money for printing it so that the lodging properties can all have these maps in their area. So there was the same partnership that we did this time, and so we'll have more city maps, and I think we're a ton of them for what it is. So that'll be good. We'll finish that before the end of the year. We'll have a whole bunch of new material printed out. And then, like Errol said, the Main Street mural video should be coming out before the end of the year. We helped out with that one. We also helped the museum out with their NCOT grant. They did a radio ad promoting the museum. So Errol and I worked with Ken and John Charchalis on the copy of that, and those are playing currently. And then Great Basin National Heritage Area Partnership has opened up their grants, so I've been talking with Main Street about some of their ideas, and the Community Corral has a proposal that I hope the city will go ahead and back for some upgrades that would definitely benefit tourism. From an event standpoint, Errol went ahead and covered what's coming up. Fire and Ice, we're going to be focusing mostly on the outdoors events. So we do have 2 fireworks shows confirmed, and Michael Couch is who we're going with for the fireworks show this year. We dedicated the same amount of money for Fire and Ice fireworks. He has doubled that in community donations and things like that. So our fireworks show for Fire and Ice is going to be bigger and better, twice as big off the train, twice as big out of Broadbent Park. So that'll be great. The Birkenbeiner will be going off, rain, snow, sleet, mud, heat wave. And then we have almost confirmed who the artist is going to be for the sculpture that we'll go ahead and light on fire. As you know, the ice fishing derby was canceled. Really bummed about that one, but we're going to supplement that with some really heavy ice fishing promotion throughout the winter. And yeah, I think I want to show a video. We got a video back from Bike Magazine, so I'll close my director's report with that video. I'll just go ahead and announce that after the community Christmas dinner, the convention center offices will be closed and reopening January 4th, that Monday. So we're just going to be letting staff and everybody kind of take time to be with their families over the holidays. So with that said, I will go ahead and go to screen share.
And then Kyle will flip it around, so.
Absolutely. And
That doesn't connect.
no. Well, it does, but it's not my computer.
So
This
if
is
you'd
a
like
town
to
that's
see,
here
please
because
come
it was
up.
at the crossroads of the West and one of the last boom towns in Nevada to boom with its copper mine. So its history really is in mining and rail and communication, but its future is in outdoor recreation and particularly mountain biking leading the way.
For those hardcore mountain bikers out there that have ridden a lot of areas and have seen all the areas in the western United States, looking for something a little different, a little more raw, a little more untrammeled, Evi's the place to look at. One of the cool things about Ely too, and one of the things I think that should attract people here to ride is that we're on the way from Northern California to Utah, from Idaho down to Arizona. And it's a nice stopover. It's about halfway between.
What happened? Is it buffering?
We took it out.
A lot of places.
I've been riding out west for a long time. Well, you've been on Highway 50 many, many, many times. You've driven.
Where's our broadband, Caroline? Well, it looks like we're having our normal internet buffing issues.
Dude.
Daggone it. This video is so darn cool, man. This is really anticlimactic that... You know, it's just internet, guys. Here, let's see if we can. This is a town that's here because it was at the crossroads of the West.
Nope. Your screen's changing.
These shots are amazing.
I know the cinematography is so good. And then,
Beautiful.
so the
And
pictures...
one of the last boom towns in Nevada to boom with its copper mine. So its history really is in mining and rail and communication, but its future is in outdoor recreation and particularly mountain biking leading the way.
I love the shot up to the top. We get to see the valley and their.
Oh my God.
Oh.
For those hardcore mountain bikers out there that have ridden a lot of areas and have seen all the areas in the western United States, looking for something a little different, a little more raw, a little more untrammeled, Evi's the place to look at. One of the cool things about Ely too, and one of the things I think that should attract people here to ride is that we're on the way from Northern California to Utah, from Idaho down to Arizona. And it's a nice stopover. It's about halfway between a lot of places.
I've been riding out west for a long time. Well, you've been on Highway 50 many, many, many times. You've driven through Ely many times as well. and never stopped. You know, after riding these trails for the last week and a half, there was a compelling reason to stop in Ely. These trails are great. Cave Lake is a super user-friendly area to go to. That's probably one of my favorite zones. You've got a lake, you've got camping. If you're riding with a family, fantastic place to go. You know, and if you're just passing through, you've got a couple hours to spend. Coming off Ward Mountain is pretty awesome, just for being right off the highway.
So the trails over on Ward Mountain and Ice Plant Canyon are kind of more big scenic rides, adventure cross country, trail riding. You're definitely going to get your big climbs and your smooth, flowy downhills. But then we've also got terrain over here on Squaw Peak, which is your rocky, really rough, rugged terrain. It's steep.
Talking about potential for the future, like I said, the terrain is perfect for mountain biking. I have visions for long ridgeline, high alpine trails, huge descents off the top of Ward Mountain. There's just so much potential to add to the area.
You know, what's really going to prove to be in their benefit here is that they are building trail. They don't seem to have a lot of barriers to trail building. It seems like they just get it done here. People are out with tools, or tools on the trails when we were riding today. Folks are, like, I think, motivated. I know they're motivated in this town to build a destination. And I can see it happening.
Right now we've got about 50 miles of single track that's all accessible from the downtown, which is awesome. That's a great number. But the goal is to have 100 miles of single track that's all accessible to the downtown. So through working with the Forest Service, we've got a trail expansion plan up on Ward Mountain that includes about 30 miles of new single track that's going to be up there, bringing that up to about 60 miles of single track that's on that side of the mountain. We just received a Trail Accelerator grant from IMBA, and we had their Trail Solutions team out here earlier in the summer, and they're going to be designing another 20-25 miles over on Mount Ely and Garnet Hill area, which will incorporate Squaw Peak and Whorehouse Hill and all of those trails. And then we're also working with the state park to expand the trail system out of Cave Lake. So right now is kind of this killer time where we've got the resources, we've got the desire from the community, and we've got the approval from all of our land managers and the support of all of our land managers to do this trail expansion. And that doesn't come together all at the same time for communities, you know, but it's happening right now. And that's kind of the exciting thing is you've got this legacy of mountain biking that really goes back a long way, but you've got this amazing future where everybody in the community, from the sports store, the restaurants, the hotels, are all supporting mountain biking. Families are getting on bikes. We're seeing locals starting to ride more bikes. But that's creating, you know, the desire to expand this trail system, which is really just going to make this more and more of a destination for years to come.
Do mountain biking is to get out in the hills and see the country and the freedom of it. It's all just wonderful to me.
Kyle, that was a tearjerker at the end.
Right? It wasn't it? So, so yeah, I think that's pretty much our final version of that. We'll be uploading that on YouTube and trying to figure out the right time to go ahead and launch it. The other nice thing is we got all of our images in as well. So the images are just as breathtaking as the cinematography on the video. So yeah, I'm very happy that you approved the last check for that. So that project's now done, and we just get to promote that content now.
Sounds wonderful. Anything else, Kyle?
No, that's it. Thanks for bearing with me.
Oh, that was well worth it, believe me. Sounds like we need to up our speed with 5D.
By the way, the scenes were beautiful. I loved it when you're up on the top and you look down into the valley. That was gorgeous.
Makes you all want to buy a mountain bike, doesn't it?
I'd have training from you.
I thought you were going to say you wanted training wheels.
Get you a mountain tricycle.
Yeah. All right, we'll move into number 5, old business discussion only, board member reports. Kurt, do you have anything?
I have nothing to report.
All right, thank you, Marietta.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. White Pine Horse Races is thrilled, overjoyed, excited that we have been awarded a PETS grant of $10,000. This was a lot of work on behalf of our chairman, Caroline McIntosh. She really made this happen for us, and we are thrilled. We cannot begin to thank her enough for all the hard work of getting this together, working with Dee Dee Sandoval and Jared Russo over at D&D Bookkeeping as well. So everyone on the board and the committee is very grateful. Thank you.
Well, it's our pleasure. We're all in this for it together. Everything we can get, it helps our community. Thank you, Marietta. On mine, I just wanted, the White Pine Main Street received one of the Travel Nevada awards, like tourism, and we received $13,000 for a campaign for the mural audio tour. And so as Errol talked about, David Purdy and Samantha were here, we contracted with Spirit of Nevada to come. And so they are producing 15 and 30-second teaser videos and then 1 minute, 3-minute videos. And so those are going to be pushed out again. We have, like Kyle, we have the deadline of December 30th to spend all the money. And you wouldn't think that would be hard, but it actually is, to get videography and images and launched. And you might hear it on KNPR, the ads for White Pine Main Street, and also KDSS. And there will be an ad in this week's Ely Times promoting this. And the thing that we're missing are the medallions, or little markers that have the numbers, and they'll come hopefully next week, if not the first week in January, and a specific number will be put on every mural. So when you walk around, it'll have the phone number to call, the mural number to punch, and you'll recognize some of the voices on there. We have an intro voice, and we have the voice that does all the narration. So thank you in advance, Kyle, for all of that narration. And it's going to be exciting. Anytime we get grant money, we all collaborate together and see how one project can benefit the other. And that's why we chose KNPR Radio, is because that's in Las Vegas, based out of Las Vegas, and that's where Kyle had just sent his direct to every door mailer. So we want to hit him in every way possible. So thank you on that, and look forward to it with the new stimulus money, to see if we're eligible to get more money for a PPP for tourism and recreation for the convention center. We were successful, which was a huge help for our budget. You know, we're in pretty good shape simply because we got the PPP. Yeah. And through my work, I'm getting different details about it. If you want to hear the latest, just text me and I'll send you what I know on the latest. But you know, we're gearing to do everything we can to help our local businesses, especially for January, February, and March, until the vaccine starts really rolling out and we get through this window of perpetual time, it seems like. So thanks for all your help on that. Okay, public comment.
All right, I'll spin the computer around.
We need to do the agenda items for the next board meeting.
Oh, Mackenzie said we need to
come up closer, please.
Agenda items for the next board meeting before we do public comment.
Oh, that's right.
If there is any.
We need to make sure that Val Lumbercheck gets on, and we'll do the job descriptions, and then take a peek at images that Errol's been able to shoot for our facility guides, any type of update on that we can look at.
Perfect.
And then we're going to put the strategic plan on, and then also we've asked Tim Bunch if he can help us chunk by chunk with the policy manual and start updating that. You know, things have happened since the last time it was updated, and we need to be current with everything. So any other things, Kurt or Marietta?
Nothing from me. I think you covered it well, Madam Chairman.
Hey, Kurt, anything?
No, thank you.
Okay. All right, back to public comment.
It's actually more of a question, but for the first time, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
For the first time ever, I went to Travel Nevada website, and it was by freak accident. I actually saw the governor had put out his newsletter, and at the bottom of it was a link on shopping. And I was like, oh, what is this? And I clicked on it, and it took me to Travel Nevada. And then I saw Ely on there, and so I started going through all the pages. And I don't know if there's any credit that needs to go to Kyle and his team here for the pictures or the write-ups that are on that Travel Nevada, but it was really phenomenal. If no one has seen that, somebody really needs to also consider, though, at the bottom, if you want more information, and I don't know if that's possible, to have a link to our local website, to your website, because then that would tie in, because they mentioned tiers, spears, and beers, and those kind of things, or even the video that you just showed us. If there's something that can tie in with that, I think that would be really good PR for the area.
Thanks, Tim.
Thank you, Tim, and thank you for that. Look, yes, it is Tour and Rec that supplies all of that, so kudos for keeping that fresh, because every month they've got to go through and make sure we're up to date again with new restaurants, new, old, etc. So thank you. And that's a great suggestion.
So just
Any other public comment?
Yeah, so just in addition to that, so what Errol was reporting on as far as all the clicks and all that, does that track it when somebody goes to that Travel Nevada site or going through the governor's website? Does that all get counted as part of this?
Not unless they go from the governor's website or the Travel Nevada website to our website. So what ours tracks is just people, and then it also tracks where they get referred from. So if we get, so for example, we get a lot of referrals from the Nevada Northern Railway website, where people go to that and then they click on a link that goes over to ours, so we can see where people are coming in from.
So like I said, that would be a good additional to have on that to get additional clicks.
Yep. All right.
Hey, any more public comment?
George is coming up.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Madam Chairman, this laptop needs to be connected to the overhead TV, either SVGA, DVI, whatever you've got. The public has no idea what's being viewed a lot of the times, and I couldn't see clearly what you were showing. Not just me, possibly others, but there should be a way of connecting to that television behind you.
Yep.
In reviewing some of the bills, I think there's a need to share some of the hardware needs with the second hardware store in this community. We're a small community, money needs to be spread out. I want to remind you, excuse me, I want to remind you money given to the community choir for pigeon control is yet to be returned. They didn't qualify at the time. You can't give money to a private entity. I have not received any information in regards to what I asked for in the past, if any board members are on the Railroad Management Board. I'm still concerned about the new parking lot. I've not seen anything put on the agenda to put the center walkway back in, and I'm not going to let that go, folks. I don't want handicapped people out in the street, period. We had a nice walkway before. I have no problem with the upgrades, but the walkway has to go back in. Also, this light that's on private property needs to be removed and put on the city right-of-way, not a private individual. I've not received any information into RVs all around the community with their property licensed. I gave a packet to you folks last time and the time before. I'm going to tell you, we're going back now 6 months. That packet, I've not received one item of information that I requested. I'm going to resubmit that whole package back to Judy. I want a new date on it, and I want some information. I noticed on the COVID monies, the golf course for, I can't think of the gentleman's name, got $10,000 in COVID monies. I didn't get a dime, which is okay. But I'm still concerned about the amount of play we've got out there, with the amount of money we're paying. I want to know what the impacts are, negative or positive. Other than that, they shouldn't be attached to any of the room tax monies. I've not received any information in regards to Mr. Spear or the Silver State Motel and the status there. Again, that's in the packet that I gave earlier, and I'm resubmitting the whole packet again. That's all I have at this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chachas. Any more public comment?
Merry Christmas.
Wayne says Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, and that's again what I'd like to wish everyone. Judy, Mackenzie, George, Wayne, Kyle, Errol, Kurt, Marietta, thank you all for your service.
Merry
Oh,
Christmas.
and Tim, yeah. neighbor. And thank you again for everything. Happy holidays, and we'll see you in January.
Sounds good.
Thank you, and I'd like a motion to adjourn.
Madam Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I will second that.
Thank you very much. All in favor? Aye.
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 So moved.
All
Happy
right.
holidays.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays.
All right. What you got?
This has been a Georgetown production. George Chachis reporting.